Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marte. I come from Norway and I love makeup, and today I'm going to do something I've been waiting for a long time to do. I've basically just been sort of like pushing it out of the way just because I don't really know how to do this, but I really want to do some face swatches of all of my Kaleidos Makeup highlighters because they did send them to me in PR, and I do all the time get questions about them, like how glittery are they and all of that stuff, because there are some different formulas. I feel like some of them are more sparkly than others. So what I have done right now is I've just used the Ordinary Serum Foundation, and then I used a tiny bit of cream bronzer, and I did use a tiny bit of concealer for my eyes just to make it look a little bit more normal. But I'm not setting anything or anything like that. I just want to be testing out the highlighters on my cheek, and then since I'm not setting anything, I will hopefully be able to remove everything quite easily because I will have to remove my makeup several times. So I think we will just get started. I'm going to zoom you quite well in and try to show you all the products as good as I can, and try to use some different lighting to show off the different dimensions of the highlighters. First off, I'm going to start with Comet Catcher, which is a white to pink highlighter, and I'm just going to be using my Kaleidos Makeup highlighting brush. It's the one I use every day because it has just perfect density, I feel like, for working the highlighter into the skin, and these pick up relatively easy on the brush. So I'll just apply them the way I always apply my highlights. And first I'm sort of like making sure that I have enough product by tapping it in, and then I'm like buffing it into the skin like this. And as you can see, I hope you can see, it's not very sparkly. So now I'm just showing you with my phone lighting on my face. Next up, it's the yellow one called Solar Sailor, and this is quite like the pink, just with a very yellow shift to it. And it's going to really show up once I put it on my cheek. This also picks up very easily on the brush. So as you can see, it gives a very nice golden yellow sheen to the skin, and you can build it up or you can use it more sheerly. And I did also use this as my highlight in my my first Easter palette look with my custom Easter palette. So head over to that video if you want to see this one in action over there. And I'd say both the shade Comet Catcher and the shade Solar Sailor, they're quite similar in formula. They're not really sparkly at all. I will make sure that I show you this one with light straight onto it. As you can see, it's a tiny bit sparkly, but nothing crazy in my opinion. I just feel like it gives a very nice yellowy gold shine. Next up, I'll be using the shade Laser Glazer, which is a little bit terrifying for my skin color. I think I would mostly use this for an eyeshadow, honestly, but I'll still try to pack it on sheerly so you can see how it looks like as a highlighter. Obviously this is quite sparkly, so I'm going to be very careful now so you can see how it looks like applied a bit more sheerly on my face. And remember that I am like super pale. I'm like always the palest shade. So I think I could get away with this if I use a lot of bronzer and then just lightly dust this over my cheek, because it has a warm, nice undertone, and like I think it looks quite pretty now. I'm not sure how much you are able to see from the shifts, so I will try to turn down the lighting a lot and try to use my phone to light. So I think it looks quite pretty now, honestly. But I will of course also show you how it looks like full power. And I think this highlight would look like so beautiful if you have darker skin, because it has just the most amazing green shift. I would like just use it as an inner corner or as a lid topper. And as you can see, when I blend it out, even though I have it like full opacity almost now of it, it doesn't look too bad. Especially considering if I had put on proper bronzer and blush, I think it's actually working. So here you have Laser Glazer, beautiful green shift. The next highlighter is Skywalker, which is probably my most unique one. As you can see, I had used it with a brush that was stained, so I will just use it from this side so we make sure I don't get any of that stainage. This one is very loose, it's very sparkly in the formula. So I would probably compare this a little bit to that Laser Glazer shade when it comes to consistency. So I will just apply that one here. I'll try to just add a little bit of it first so you can see how it looks like more naturally applied. As you can see, it has a gorgeous shine and it's like icy blue, and I really like this highlight. So I'm going to like pack it on now so you can see how intense it gets. And as you can see, I'm buffing it into the skin because I feel like that's how glittery highlighters look the best, because then you're like evening out the glitter specks to just blend into your skin better. It almost looks wet, you know? And here you can't even see that I'm wearing it almost, but then I turn around and it's like boom. So this one I really do enjoy. I'm going to show you this one also with my phone lighting. Here you can see what I'm talking about with the glitter specks. And you see more of the color in the highlight. But I think this is beautiful if you want something a little bit different and something that's like very out there and just a booming highlight. It's very pretty. So here you can see Laser Glazer on this side. Because of the darker base in it, it looks, I look a little bit matte, but it's just because I don't have all my makeup on. I'm sure I could make this work with my makeup on, but now I've like blended it down here just to show off the shifts. Obviously I would usually just use it here, sort of like a blush topper, but it's very beautiful. Now we're ready for the more neutrally tones here. So this is Raywriter and it's more of a warm champagne-y, more neutral highlight, honestly. And I'm just going to pack that on my brush like that. I have a lot, so I'll try to just use a little bit to begin with. I'll just use that on my right cheek right here. And this one is like for all of you guys that need a more neutral highlight. This is very beautiful. It's not super pale. It has a beautiful glow, as you can see. And I wouldn't really say that this one is very glittery or anything. It's not like the most glowy one that I've seen. And by glowy I mean that it does not have any glitter whatsoever. I think this one might like have a tiny bit of glitteriness. It's not really glitter, but texture, I don't know. So I'm going to again show you with some extra lighting. So you can see this is very beautiful. and you can see that it's a bit darker than my skin tone. But again, when I put on all of my makeup, I have a blush and I have my bronzer and everything, and then even though it's a tiny bit darker, it will not like look as, I mean, it's not really bad right now either, but you can sort of see where I put it when you compare it to here where I don't have anything. But usually that does not really show when I have my full face of makeup on. And it's the last one, it's Star Surfer, and this one is a pink, more neutrally toned highlighter, I guess. But I feel like this one is a bit more sparkly, so we will just have to see how they apply, because even though they look a little bit sparkly in the pan, doesn't mean that they look sparkly on the cheek. So I'm just placing that here. This one is like a very universal one, I feel like. Probably everyone could get away with this one because it has more of an iridescent base, I believe. It's way more natural pink than Comet Catcher, of course. And remember that I am packing it on now, so we really get the full intensity. I feel like you can easily apply this without putting on a lot. But you can see that glow, so beautiful. I just love it. And again, I will show you with my phone lighting on it, so you don't really see many glittery specks or anything, at least I don't feel like you do. Turn down the lighting on my camera. So this is how Star Surfer looks like. So that is all of the highlighters swatched. I still have the shade Star Surfer right here. As you can see, it's a beaming highlight. And here I have the shade Raywriter. As you can see, it's a little bit deeper on my skin tone, and therefore you don't see the sheen as much. But I really love all of these highlighters for, of course, different types of looks. I don't really use these more natural ones that often, just because I like to pair, if I have a green look, I like to use a green highlighter, and if I have a blue look, I like to use a blue highlighter. But these are super stunning too. So I just decided to swatch them on my arm as well. So what I did was basically just swatching quite big swatches and kind of like shearing them out on the side. So I did it in the same order that I swatched them on my face, I believe at least. So this first one is of course Comet Catcher. As you can see, you can really shear it out. I'm also just going to use my phone to light on them so you can see more of the texture. So I'm lighting from below right now, so you can totally see that Comet Catcher is not glittery whatsoever. Then you have, of course, Solar Sailor is a bit more sparkly, but not like super intense. Then you have Laser Glazer, which you can see is very nice sheared out. You don't really see much of the base where it's sheared out, but it also has a bit of sparkles to it. And then we have here Skywalker, very sparkly formula, a little bit more sparkly than Laser Glazer, but also nicely sheared out. And then here we have Raywriter. As you can see, it's a bit dark on my skin tone, but sheared out, it's very beautiful and shiny. This I think so. I'm lighting from above right now, so you can really see the sheen of that highlight. And then last but not least, we have Star Surfer, which is just a very pretty pink one. You can see some glitter specks throughout it, but I didn't really feel like it was that glittery once I buffed it into my skin, because you sort of like even out the glitter specks so that they aren't as powerful. I don't know. Kind of hard to explain. But as you can see, that's probably the most natural highlight of these. And I did take some pictures while swatching these, so I will try to show you right here, putting up some pictures of the different highlighters with the names hopefully. And I will also be trying to find the different videos that I have made using these highlighters in my normal looks, like applying them on top of a dry base. And always when I do different looks, I end up doing a close-up in the end of the video before doing my outro and talking about the products that I used. So if you're interested in seeing some looks that I've done with some of these highlighters, I will leave that down below in my description box. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys, because I know a lot of you have been struggling on which highlighters to pick up, or if you want to pick up all of them. I'm actually really intrigued to use laser glazer right now, because I thought it looked so beautiful on my skin, and for that one to work on my skin, because obviously, as you can see, I'm so pale. That's quite impressive, and it just had a beautiful green sheen. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below what you think of these highlighters. I know a lot of you have some of them already, so please leave your opinions down in my comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you're interested in seeing more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!